Now they're all dropping in. Woohoo! Hope you're all good. Hope you had a great weekend. It's Sunday. Sunday. So,
Last Sunday before all the racing restarts again.
finally!
Finally.
It was so weird the last, I don't know, 3-4 weeks,
Yeah,
weekends without
yeah.
racing. It was so strange. I mean, I'm not really continued with the interviews. Not that I not have nothing to do, but racing. Yeah, it was weird. So many weeks without.
Yeah, it was. It was kind of like 2020 when we went like 4 months, 5 months without anything. Yeah.
That's so crazy, and that was what was because of COVID.
Yeah. And you remember all the esports popping up,
Yes.
all the
Yes. It's next week. Le Mans, virtual
It
Le
is.
Mans, isn't
It
it?
is.
Yeah.
I think it is. Also, Bike, I think, is doing
Yes.
the yeah.
She is announced for one of the teams. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think she's the only girl. I saw not more.
I think there are a couple more. Also, Lyubov Orezetovskaya. I'm pretty sure that I am pronouncing it wrongly, but I think also she will be racing, and I think a couple more also.
Ah, that's cool. That's cool. But Bike is the most known name out of them.
Yeah.
Same team as Jimmy Broadbent, I believe.
Ah, that's interesting. Yeah.
That will be cool. They maybe win this. Yeah, Kim, it's true. It's Dakar. It's true. But I think no one of us is covering it.
Yeah, that's the name, and I'm pretty sure I didn't know how to say it.
What the hell?
Yeah, I will just call her Lyubov. I mean, that's the first name.
That's wow. That would be a name I just copy paste in every interview because I wouldn't know how to write this. What the hell? I mean, for her it's mostly normal, I think, but
she's from Kazakhstan, I think.
Yeah, looks like something from one of these countries there. Yeah. Or just Love 46 on Twitch.
Yeah.
What the name? It sounds a bit weird, but okay. It sounds like one of these strange bots we have on Instagram at the moment. Or on Twitter or whatever.
Funny stuff. She was also part of the WSeries team that was set to do the WSeries 24-hour Le Mans esports last year, and when they crashed on the formation lap.
Right, well, I remember.
The R factor crashed, not they went off track, but yeah. I think Fabian was set to take the start, and yeah, they didn't get to do any lap.
I remember there were many teams dropping out already before the race even started. So
yeah, Fabian had R factor crashing on the first lap. That was really unfortunate. Yeah. And Lyubov was also part of that team. I think I remember.
Wow, yeah, so many details out of my head. Yeah, that's how it goes. It's crazy. Who needs details? Most of it. I see. I need to do something with the chat box, but for today, it's okay. We do this like it is. You can read the chat on the right, or when you're on the phone under the stream. So it's all fine. It's all fine. I'm pretty happy it's working so good. So
yeah, it is. It is.
So it was a good choice to change the stream program just for this stuff.
Mm-hmm. So it's the first time that you actually do a chat like this for your stream. That's cool. I'm quite honored to be the first experiment in that.
You are the premier.
Yeah.
I mean I tested it with Samu yesterday, but offline. And I was hoping that it's enough. That works today, but yeah, I'm pretty impressed that it's working that good. That's why racing is more popular. With online racing, you can join later, change drivers without problems. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really true. Yeah.
And I mean, you ever can have a connection lost with your internet or whatever reason you have to
Yeah,
lost connection or
but
whatever.
the problem with our factor, I think, to remember that Fabian told me that then they couldn't rejoin before because the race had just started. So that was kind of not
Sad.
great.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you put so many effort in it and so
Yeah.
many practice and preparation and whatever time, maybe sponsors, whatever, and then you are not even going to the start. That's a shame. I mean, well, yeah. Maybe for the next time when we ever have the next one. I mean, sim racing is kind of popular, and I think it will have the trend continue to go. I have no idea how to end the sentence, but
yeah, most definitely. I mean, iRacing definitely is one of the most popular ones. Also, Assetto Corsa has been quite growing in the last couple of years. R Factor is going downhill a little bit. And when I was using it, it was really popular on the first one. Then from the second title, then I think iRacing and Assetto Corsa really took over.
I never used one of them.
Yeah, only R Factor, but the first one. So yeah.
Paddy is our expert for iRacing, so
yeah, I hear that.
He will ever try to convince us all to come to iRacing.
Yeah.
One day, Paddy, one day. Maybe. So yeah, I would say let's maybe start join. Yes, Paddy. When I have a decent number of followers, then we can talk again about this. To go to iRacing one day when I have the wheel and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I crashed not that much yesterday, so maybe I'm not that bad as I think about. Then we can talk again.
Gran Turismo also, right? Yeah, I forgot to mention that also. That's pretty good.
So Ollie is playing it as well, so he is a bit of an expert too, maybe.
Cool.
I mean, I played Grid Legends mostly the last time, and Formula One now. So, and
so you're liking the F1?
Yes, it's kind of fun. I didn't think it would be that much fun, especially as I remember my times from the PS1 and PS2, and I was pretty bad back then. So I'm not sure if it's easier nowadays or if I'm better. That's I'm not sure about. So, but yeah, hi Ski, welcome in, welcome. Hope you're good. And he is the one who gifted me Formula One. So
cool.
He is guilty that I obsessed with this game now. Dan the man, yes. That's now our name for you. So maybe you will read this more often today. I'm not sure who come up with this. If it's Paddy or someone, I'm not sure. One of them. It was not me, I think. So yeah, my tears again close to empty. That's not good. It was Paddy. Okay, it was Paddy. Of course, it was Paddy. Paddy have always the best solution, so his best solution is do this and do this there, and then you get it.
Right.
That's his way to solve problems.
You can't be wrong. Yeah.
Right. He's always right. Maybe. Yeah, Paddy. I think it was so. So yeah, I would start maybe when you want to say us who you are. So at first, and maybe
cool.
Yeah, when you came up with the idea of races.
All right. So my name is Daniel. I'm from Italy originally. I started karting when I was 7, 8. Started when I was 7, 8 when I started racing actually. Then I did some good season in karting. I was pretty decent, I would say. I also raced with some good drivers that went on to become some pretty well-known names. Didn't have the budget to then move to single seaters or to car racing in general. So I just decided that at one point I still wanted to be around motor racing, but of course not with my racing helmet on. And then so I on the same time at the same time I was at university. and then so I studied communication, visual communication. So I started, to get interested in some other stuff. And then one of my first work experience was in sports marketing. So I was actually really interested in getting to know more about sponsorship money, and why, the debate, the big question was, how can I help younger drivers to get where I wanted to be myself, but I didn't have the means to. So kind of sponsorship was the big interest. Worked a couple of years around that. Worked with some smaller championships here. Then I went on to do some other stuff, totally unrelated, for quite some years, almost 10. And then in 2019, I think it was end of 2018, start of 2019, I started to hear rumors that there was an all-female championship starting. And the topic of women in motorsport was always something that I was really interested in, because when I was racing karting, I was always very fascinated by the fact that it's a mixed gender sport, and you actually compete together. You're not like football and tennis and athletics, and where you have men and female sports. But on the other hand, while on paper you were really competing against each other, in reality, the numbers were so different. When I was racing karting, probably in all like 6 or 7 years that I was racing, I probably raced against 1 or 2 maybe girls. So that was huge number. It's not like it's today when you get to see some more young girls in karting, luckily. Also have a sister, a younger sister, that also I tried to get into karting when I was racing. She did try, but ultimately it wasn't her sport. And so the topic of females in motorsport was always something that interested me. And then I kind of worked with some female drivers as well. And then I became friends with some of them. And so I kind of remain in touch with them. And so when in 2019 I heard that there was this new championship coming up, which eventually became WSeries, I thought, okay, maybe there is. I knew that I wanted to come back to motorsport and to do something again in motorsport. I had some experience in the media sector at that point, so I probably, okay, maybe let's try to do something on that side of things in media. I also had some friends that were in motorsport journalism. And so I thought, okay, let's maybe try to cover that championship. That at the beginning I was not perfectly, as I was not against it, but not even totally pro WSeries. But I was interested, in the topic, and I said, okay, let's see how that goes. And given that I was also interested in doing something and coming back to motor racing on a more consistent level, that was kind of the start. And so we created this website at the beginning, just tried to get some reports done, and then look some drivers and some races. Then we started going to race and blah blah blah. So that was the beginning.
So the W series you can see in the background of the chat.
Yeah.
By the way, I just wanted to share the site so that you can go. Lion wrote, feel free to name drop which drivers you beat in karting.
Well, yeah, I will not name drop, but yeah, there was some good drivers. A couple of, well, one of them, well, 2 actually, that actually got into Formula 1.
Oh, Liam. Now you can think about. So yeah, it's not that long. I mean, it's not that long that the site exists. I mean, 2019 is now 4 years ago.
Yeah.
What is time? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
That's so crazy. So yeah,
And you joined just after we started, so it was like really a couple of months only that we were just setting up the everything. So you really started right at the beginning. So it was really in the birth stages still of the website where we just started, and you really actually became one of the co-founders. So
yeah.
that was cool. Yeah.
It was end of September
Yeah.
2019. I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
this. It's in my head. It's deep in my head. Yeah, yeah. So proud of you too. That's nice, Ali. That's nice. But I mean, at the beginning we were three, so
Yeah.
you need to be proud of three people
Yeah. Yeah.
to build this project and the website. I would say to be honest. So it's not just our blah, blah, not just we two, but at the moment it's more or less we two.
Yeah, definitely. That right now, yes, definitely, yeah.
But who knows? Who knows? It's growing, so you never know. I know nothing about female motorsports. Are there daughters of professional drivers, famous names? Some of them, but not all of them.
Yeah. Well, increasingly though, we have daughters of professional drivers. I would say, well, the two Alcubasi sisters. Of course, their father also raced in WEC. I think also, well, yes, so correct. Vanina X,
Yeah,
probably one of the,
Tsunoda,
yeah, Jude Noda, yeah,
definitely.
Raikkonen's daughter, probably.
Yeah, maybe she is definitely doing some kart stuff.
Yeah.
So there could be some coming up in the next years, yeah. But I think mostly, I mean, to be honest, the most girls in motorsports are coming from families that are surrounded by motorsport. I think that's a natural thing. When you know it from an early stage, you are, of course, faster in the scene. So it's mostly people that coming out of the motorsport stuff. There are some never had something to do with motorsport and just come into the sport because they saw it because it's cool or whatever, or trying it out on a birthday party and thinks, oh, karting, that's cool, I want to do this. So yes, Emily de Hoist too. De Hoist?
Yeah.
Is this right pronouncing? I have no idea. So yeah, there are definitely some famous names, and some are just doing because they saw it or want to try it. Or I mean, we have now the generation that saw some girls competing and successful competing in motorsport, so they maybe saw it on TV or in the internet or on social media and saying, hey dad, mom, I want to do this too. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
very very different.
I think you perfectly summed up when you said that it's easier for families when they have someone already in the business. For example, as we mentioned, some daughters of famous drivers, but also I'm hearing increasingly young drivers saying that they started because their brothers were racing. So, for example, in karting, and they just want to try out, and then they end up being the faster ones.
Yeah. Christina Nielsen is also the daughter of a race driver, but way better than her dad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Michaela Kotulinski, for example,
Yes.
both her dad and mother were racing in rally, I think.
Yeah, I think both were in rally. Yeah. So she is amazing too. So definitely. I mean, Linda Wecker, her dad was a tire supplier, when I'm not wrong. So it can go all ways. So, I mean, I had nothing to do with motorsport as I grown up. Maybe some Sundays watching F1 with my parents, but we don't count those. So it goes all ways. I mean, Lindsay Brewer, for example, they just tried it out on a birthday party. So different
Well,
ways to come into the sport, I would say.
yeah. Same for Irina Sidorkova. She also started at a birthday party. So yeah, it's cool. You know that it's in the most you can start in any situation really.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had a birthday party where we would go karting. I would be a childhood dream. But we never done, unfortunately. But yeah, that's that's a cool way to spend their birthday. But I mean, you know, motorsport is expensive, so
Yeah.
I think in some ways it ends in many, many frustrating moments. So definitely expensive sport and not that easier in many, many ways.
And the thing is that it's more expensive, as you know, hugely expensive now compared even to when I was starting karting. You know, now it's like 10 times more expensive than when I was racing, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Even just karting, and let alone all the single seaters. You know, from 5 years ago now. It's doubled from single seaters. So
That
it's crazy how it's growing up.
it is. I mean, a world champ like Kimi Räikkönen wouldn't do this way he done nowadays because he couldn't do this without the money.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. I mean, I'm sure we miss so many extremely talented racing drivers, no matter of male or female, because of budget loss. So yeah, it's way too expensive. But yeah, I don't think the change in the next years. So
Yeah. And I was all actually discussing with another person just today about how, for example, in the US it's different from Europe. When in the US you see a lot more. I think there are more levels, entry levels for amateur championships or even just club racing, where you just have fun. You just go out there and have fun. You see even older people, even people starting out at an older age, let's say when they're starting to make money on their own, with probably with their own businesses and stuff, and they just learn and have fun, while in Europe, if you're not racing by the age of 7 or 8 in the top karting championship, you can just give up already. You will have like the kids from the wealthy families going out there with the big teams, with hospitalities and engineers and telemetry data engineers, all this stuff, and trailers with the field of new engines and tires. And you just can't compete really. If you have, for example, you arrive at 14 or 15 years of age, and you already have all these kids that have so much track time and experience. They are on track every day training and in karting. You really can't compete. So it's kind of sad here.
yeah, and to come back on the female side of racing, I think the American side of motorsport is way more open, not just for female driver, but for any diversity stuff than it's in Europe, I feel. So, I mean, we have so many girls competing in NASCAR. I mean, I'm not a NASCAR expert, but it's crazy how many female drivers you see there. Many.
Mhm.
But compared to all other series on the world, more or less. So that's sometimes I feel the American motorsport is a bit more open to female drivers. Maybe it's not um a real thing. It's more my imagination, but I think it could be a real thing.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I would agree with that. Also, I think it's a budget thing, because as you need so much more money here,
yeah,
numbers will be different. It's less open, both for males and for females, and females being still lower in numbers, as a percentage. You do your math, and you end up with lower numbers. So I guess that's problem. But I also agree with saying that probably in America there's bigger racing short track scene, so that's more grassroots circuits racing. So I do also agree with that. Yeah, well, in Europe it's mostly karting, and you start from very young age, from mini karts, for example. It's really competitive, and already really highly expensive. So I do believe that's also a good point.
it's all about the success.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels sometimes in Europe is all about winning, winning, winning. Better when you are three in the card first time or whatever, so that you can win as early as in early stage that you can go higher or whatever. But maybe the American way is a bit more about fun when you just want to have fun, and in Europe is you need to win when you want to do this.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's a mental problem we have here. That's all about winning and success, and you don't are allowed to have fun. You need to win.
Yeah, I
So
would agree with that. But also, that is down to the money, because when you're spending so much money, then you will have to win. If you have some backers or sponsors, even early on, it's hard to justify spending 200K, 300K per year when you're just having fun.
yeah, even when you are pretty rich, but
Yeah,
I think mostly it's about winning in Europe, and the American way is maybe a bit more um chill.
yeah,
They maybe understand how to have a bit more fun, even without the big money numbers on their sport or whatever. So yeah. But unfortunately, it's in the Lara Nesca series. There are none in the cup. That's true as well. Yeah.
we do have some very good ones coming up the ranks in Arca, for example, and so hopefully we will see another female driver in the Cup series as well in the next coming years. So hopefully that changes.
But I mean, the thing is, when you have many in the Lara Cup or in the Lara series, you have a bigger chance to get them up than when you have maybe just one or so in the
Yeah,
Lara series. So I think the female motorsport is really built on these numbers. You see, I mean, when you have 100 of male drivers, you have maybe one or two female drivers. So the equality is pretty difficult to see because there is no equality. You
yeah,
need 100 male drivers against 100 female drivers. Then you could really compare them. But so you have 100 men, you have maybe, let's say we are pretty good today. We have two female drivers. So from the 100 male drivers, when they're one or two or three are winning and the rest are losing, it's normal. But when there's one girl not winning, then she is bad, or female drivers are bad, or whatever. So the view on this topic is a bit strange because you can't compare them, not like you want to, because it's not equal. So
yeah. No, that's definitely, yeah. Yeah, that's the whole point. To get more women on the on at the base of the pyramid, and yeah.
So yeah, but that's a topic I wanted to write an article about since 2 years or so. I hope one day it's done. But yeah, the equality is definitely a problem we have because we have no real numbers that we can
Mhm.
compare with. In the UK, we now have endurance series with Ford KA and Citroën C1s, and these series have attracted more female drivers of all ages. Perfect cheap formula, I think. I never heard
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, I heard of that. Also, I tried to follow some of the drivers that are racing there. Unfortunately, they're not really good at communication, so it's hard to keep up with their results. Hopefully, they will also improve on that side of things. But that's true. That's you need some kind of formulas of championships like that to really get more opportunities to people that wouldn't necessarily get to the really super high level racing series, but also having some good club racing and have fun. I think that's also really important for any national ASNs, the national federations to try to develop those championships, which are just as important as the big ones.
Yep, and I think even when you have not the biggest series, many women or female drivers, you can attract more young girls to just begin with karting. So when they
Yeah.
see, oh, there's a girl or a woman or whatever, I want to do this as well. I mean, the base starts really with the karting. If we have many more girls into karting, we maybe can put more on the ladder. So
Mhm.
yeah, it begins with karting, and then we need to build them up. And when we have some series that is easy to go in, even when it's not the highest racing of motorsport, it's a pretty good start, I would say.
Yeah, but the thing is that as karting is already so much expensive,
Yeah.
if you that's the importance of these championships that we are mentioning here. For example, the Ford KI and the Citroen C1. is that most of the times these drivers are not the ones that are starting in karting, but they're young women that are starting late. They are discovering motorsport later on in their lives, and they want to be involved in and they do not necessarily start in karting with all the other kids, but they start straight into those kind of forms of racing. So that's also some interesting and important to develop at grassroots racing, because, for example, when you have like kids 6 or 7 years of age starting karting, it's so much expensive that you have to have one of the wealthy family behind. You cannot provide for your racing. You're 6 or 7, you're not working, you're not a business manager, you're not spending your own money. So it's also important to develop those kind of grassroots level racing to get female of all ages.
Yep. So, somebody know if the W Series will continue in 2023? That's this year, crazy.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good question. No, I think I personally do not know what W Series is up to. They are active on social media, which is good, which means that something is happening. They are working behind the scenes, and probably they are working at something at trying to fix their business model. But to be extremely honest, saying they will be on track in 2023, that's a big question now that I cannot answer.
Yeah. I mean, I think no, because we are already in 2023, and it's maybe a bit late to plan a series now for this year. So there are so many behind. You need to see. You need dates on tracks that are free. You need the money. You need teams. You need cars, drivers, mechanics, engineers, whatever. So I think it would be a very, very short call to plan something in this year, even with the F1 Academy.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I think that you have to think again of the basics of what their championship is, because with F1 Academy being on the grid next year, they scaled back to Formula 4 cars, so they are actively trying to get drivers at Formula 4 level. But we also know that some drivers that probably were rookies in W Series last year will actively try to get a seat in F1 Academy. So they really have to think again of their whole business format, in my opinion. So that's a big task for a 1 year span that possibly they will have to. Maybe they can do still some I don't know, maybe some selections, some tests, something just to stay alive. And then get back on track in 2024. But hard to tell what they're up to. I think there was some kind of hints that they had found some budget, but really nothing confirmed. So I think it's hard to tell.
Yeah. And the next question is which series they choose this time to be a support series of. I think Formula One is not in their mind again. I would say DTM could be very, very difficult with all the support series they now have. So could be very, very crazy to get them on the grid, because there are already so many series now as support series with the new concept of the ADAC and DTM stuff. So yeah, difficult to say which series they could join then as support series. But when they have a plan, they maybe will figure this out. So yeah, let's see if they come back. So the social media accounts are all still active and doing stuff. So I think it's not over.
Yeah. No, I know for a fact that people are working at W Series headquarters, so they are working behind the scenes too. They know definitely more than we know at this point. So the one thing that is not so great news for them, I think, in my opinion, is that drivers that were on the grid in W Series last year are actively finding other opportunities now. So they are looking into other options now. All the ones that so obviously for them,
Yeah.
but for W Series, you have to target a different different drivers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. By the way, Baldi, welcome in the chat because I didn't say something. Um, what about Wick? It would fit as a support series in that not Le Mans rounds.
Well, yeah, that could be also a good idea. I mean, ELMS, WEC, also GT World Challenge. There are so many cool championships that could be the headline event, and then you can join them on a support package. So that
Yep.
could be interesting. But same goes for F1 Academy actually, because they from their statement when they launched the championship, let's say that not many details are known so far also of F1 Academy. But they said there would be 7 rounds, 21 races, so triple headers, 7 rounds, one with the F1 online F1 weekend. So the other 6, we still don't know where they will be.
Okay. Maybe S would work better from cost point of view. Yeah, maybe. But I know W Series would want it to be worldwide.
Yeah, it didn't end well, did it?
Yes. I mean, DTM wasn't just Germany, so there. I think it was from the surrounding and the cost point of view was definitely better the DTM series stuff than the Formula One stuff. But I mean, Formula One is still the biggest name, so
Yeah.
sometimes you need to see if the bigger name is better or the maybe a bit smaller series to have a healthier
Yeah.
future. So
Exactly. That's
it's
the
not
point. Yeah.
it's not all about the name sometimes. So I mean, so many stuff you buy because you know the name or because it has a bigger name or whatever. So it's not always the best choice. So but if the should go with GT World Challenge, would that not mean SRO would buy a part of W Series and would they want to do this?
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's good point. Yeah, also good point. I mean, I dropped the name GT World Challenge just to mention a few, but yeah, you also have to take into account those things.
So many possibilities. That's crazy. But yeah, could be very interesting to see what happens with the W Series in the next years. I mean, when you maybe all remember my first tweets about the W Series was not very positive
Mhm.
because I was not a real fan at the beginning because I was afraid it's the wrong sign for females in motorsport because I was always afraid so maybe they see okay it's better put them in one series than continue with the mixed series because look that one the people see and it's working or whatever. So I was a bit so well I don't know. The first year I think was not that bad because of all have the same car. They changed the car and the mechanics and stuff and blah. Then we had the year with COVID, so we had no racing. And then last year was a bit I don't know with the teams and stuff and So I have no idea what I wanted to go with this paragraph, but that was my opinion. So
Mhm.
I mean, when they maybe come back to the basics and do this again with we have the same car, we change the cars maybe or whatever, like the BMW Cup in Germany when they really change every weekend the car and stuff so that everyone has the same chance to have another car for the weekend. So that could be again a good space to get back. So I would enjoy this.
I totally agree with you on W Series. I was also very conflicted at the beginning when I started to take interest in W Series, and I also told this to Catherine Bonmure. I was perfectly of the same opinion as yourself. I was not really excited about that because I was like, okay, let's see where it goes, but probably this is not the right uh, path to go onwards. Probably, if they're successful, they will probably show that that female drivers needs to have their own championship. What it was what I was always advocating against before. So yeah, that was the very point at the beginning. And my opinion, I was really of the same opinion of Sophia Flörsch, for example, at the beginning. Then I went open-minded into it. I watched I went to the first year. I went to the race in the first year, and I met the people. I knew, for example, some of the drivers already. For example, Vicky Perea and Alice Powell. I knew some of them already, so I was really happy for them because I was happy that there was some new opportunities for them, especially because they had to stop racing for a couple of years, and so that kind of changed my mind, and I said, okay, that's a new opportunity for them. There is selection, so there is no money involved. They're not spending their money, so that was really revolutionary for motorsport as a whole. As you mentioned, the car were rotating. You had a draw on Thursday when the mechanics, the engineers, and the chassis was rotating from driver to driver each round. So really, it gave them the opportunity to be on different equipment and to really prove them that it was not the car that was making the difference, but was the driver. And yeah, when I was on track, really they kind of sold me. It was like, all right, that's a good opportunity. If they have the chance also to, yeah, that was my point. My point was, if they also have the chance to race elsewhere and get some free seat time in W Series and get the opportunity to grow there, I'm for it. I'm that's good. And yeah, when I spoke with Alice, with Vicky, and also I got to know all the other drivers in the first year. The paddock was also very open because DTM was kind of open back then. And so it was fun. It was good opportunities, and really the most revolutionary thing was the selection process, was the fact that it was free to enter. Never anything like that had ever happened in single seaters, especially at Formula 3 level, Formula 3 regional level. And so that was my point in the first year that I went to the races with W Series. Then, as we know, and as you summed up perfectly, everything changed from COVID, really.
Yep. And I mean, like for people like Emma Kimmelane, so, for example, who was out of racing for some years or whatever, and maybe never would came back without the W Series. So it was definitely a good point for many of the drivers who maybe had not the budget or not the view of the you know,
Yeah.
can't pronounce the word. They had no spotlight. So now the W Series in the first year was especially about this free to enter, car rotating, whatever, bringing some girls back that stopped racing, like Emma, for example, and just put some spotlight on them so that the spectators and maybe teams or other people just saw them. And I think that's one of the good points. So they came back in the spotlight, and you saw how other teams maybe saw, oh, there are good female drivers out there we didn't know because we have never saw them anywhere or whatever. So I think that's another great point from the first year, because it was really really good. And mm, it was something completely new, so the um, interest was relative high, I would say. So it was a good chance for every girl on the grid to say, "Hi, I don't know, I'm Emma, whatever, and I can drive or whatever." So it was a good point to do this. But then COVID came, and I think COVID is a big factor why they changed for 2022. So some of money costs flow out, and some people left and whatever, and then they gone to Formula One, because we all know Formula One is a big name, it's a bit shiny, and maybe we can live with this. But then like you said, the DTM had a very, very open paddock. It was amazing. So you can talk with the people, you can talk with the drivers, you see the cars very, very close. And Formula R is the opposite, more or less. So it's closed. You have no real chance to go to the drivers, to talk to the people. And I think this was really missed last year on the W Series paddock, because I don't know, it was so cold from the atmosphere, more or less, for the public spectators and the fans maybe going to the track, but just saw them on track in the cars because they had no possibilities to go into the paddock and talk with the people. And that was a bit of a shame, I think, because I think the most motorsport is really living from the contact you can have with the people. So I love the DTM paddock and the ADAC paddock because it's so open. You can go in there, you can talk with the people, and that's something what I love on motorsport. So Formula One is for me ever a bit from a distance. It's so, yeah, it's cool because of the name and the tradition and whatever, but it's not my kind of motorsport, because I want to live it when I'm there, and I want to go into the paddock and talk with the people and see the cars, and they're working on the cars and whatever. And I think that was really, really missed in 2022 for all of the paddock of the W Series. I don't know.
Yeah.
Had we COVID restrictions last year? I have no idea.
Well, actually, that's a good point also, because in 2021 had COVID restrictions. The drivers could not even get for example, one of their family members or boyfriend or whoever, or even the sponsors. They couldn't get in the paddock. So that was 2021, and then 2022, they still had some kind of restrictions. No media, no sponsors, no guests, nobody, and that's never what you want when you are not, when you are trying to establish the championship, because it works for Formula One. They're an established championship. They're well known. They don't need that. They only need TV. But for a new championship, when you're trying to get new fans and really get the interest out there, that's not what you want. So I absolutely agree with what you said about the DTM paddock. I remember, for example, in 2019, the season finale at Brands Hatch, when there were so many people around that paddock, young girls going up to Jamie and then for taking pictures and stuff. That's really what you want to do when you're trying to establish the new sport, and with new drivers, with new personalities, and that's also they had interestingly they throughout the whole first year they shot a documentary, kind of like Drive to Survive. That documentary, I think, only was out in the UK on Channel 4. I might be wrong, but I think it was only released in the UK. Well, that was a really huge missed opportunities, because I saw, probably I'm in it, but I don't even know. But I saw the cameras were all around all the full season. So I think that they had some good quality content, and which is important when you have new drivers and you're trying to establish them as new personalities. I think it was kind of missed opportunities, especially because they had 2020 where nothing happened. You could have possibly do some promotion of that documentary.
Yeah, I think in Germany you can see it on Sky, but I'm not pretty sure. But I think I saw something on Sky, but I haven't seen it yet. So, but I think I remember that you can watch it in Germany on Sky, but I'm not exactly sure. So please don't kill me when it's not true. But for the Germans here in chat, I know you're not all German, but yeah, I think you can see it on Sky. But that's something. The W Series. Sorry, I'm so typical German. I say V Series. W Series. They have a pretty good social media team, so they really go out on their social media channels. No, if I had Sky, yeah, sorry, Patty. We can watch it on the Nürburgring. I will bring my phone with my Sky with me. what I wanted to say. Yeah, they have a good open social media team that really tries to get into the fans, not into the fans, for the fans on Twitter and Instagram, and try to build a connection with the fans outside. So that's a big plus, because not all motorsport series are doing great in that stuff. So
Yeah.
that's really something that is working, because I see them sometimes really answering on tweets of fans that write something on I don't know, Twitter or whatever. They really get in contact with them. Not always, of course, because the amount is too big, but they
Sure.
really try to have a bit of a connection and work with
That's good.
this. And
Yeah, that's good.
I think that's in our modern world we live in really, really, really good, because we all live on social media. It's like it is. I think every one of us is several time on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, YouTube, Twitch. Hi, you are all here. So um, to work with this, it's pretty pretty important nowadays, because we all okay. You can hear me again, maybe, maybe, maybe. Maybe I don't know. I can't think. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what happened. I have no freaking idea what happened. Yeah, I know, because I think. Wait. Yes, that. Wait, there, show on stream. Could work again.
I
Woohoo!
think so.
I have no idea what happened.
It's fine. It's working.
Welcome and I have no idea. In the car stream. No,
Part 2.
solved very fast, so it's not that.
There I am.
Then the man. Yes. I have really no idea what happened, but it's all working, so it's all fine. I have no idea what I talked about, so hi. Chad, have
You
you
were
any more questions, by the way?
you were talking about the importance of
Yes, social
yeah,
media. Yes.
exactly.
Right, because I mean we know so many series are not really good in that. So I'm not sure why, because it's so easy to post something on social media and get involved with the fans and whatever. So I don't know. Can you guys remember who your first interviews were?
Hmm.
I know. My first interview not on track was Laura Luft
Ooh,
on
right.
phone. That I remember. I'm not sure if I have the written interview before with what was her name? The girl in the Australian.
Oh yeah, Chelsea Herbert.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think it was Laura first.
Yeah, I think so too. It was Laura on phone. It was pretty cool. And the first one on track was Hamder on
Hamda.
the Red Bull Ring
Yeah,
back in 2020. That's
and I think
that's
you had even one before Sophia, when you wrote me down the questions and I was on track, and
yes.
I recorded the answers for your interview.
Yes, it was the short time after she ran the marathon, I think,
Yes,
or the
yes,
half
exactly,
marathon.
about the Berlin Marathon. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yeah. But on track it was Hamder, and on phone it was Laura.
yeah.
So that was pretty cool. So you know your first interviews?
Oh yeah, I well, for races, the first one for races was Piperman at the 2019 Indy 500
Nice.
for races, but not for races in my, let's say, media career. That's a lot of years ago. And honestly, I really do not remember. It could have been someone in GP3 or GP2. I was covering GP2 and GP3 some like 2010, 2011.
That's a bit, yeah, the old names.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of years ago. Yeah, I was covering those championships for another website, and probably one of them. I remember I did a cool interview with Romain Grosjean when he was racing GP2. I did Jules Bianchi. I did Gutierrez, Esteban Gutierrez. Yeah, well, Alex Rossi, of course, we were good friends when he was racing GP3. Yeah, I mean those years were kind of fun.
They're good names.
Yeah.
So Liams were email Taylor Ferns, phone call Alexandra Marinescu. I
Oh
hope I
yes, I was
pronounced.
just thinking about Alexandra Marinescu a couple of days ago. I wonder where she ended up. She raced Formula 4 in the UK, I think 2017, if not mistaken.
That's a bit now, no?
Yeah.
Paddy says my first driver to get to know was Gabby. Yeah, we know us because of Gabby, so
Oh,
I assumed this. She's literally just had a baby,
oh,
like
good.
last week.
Okay.
Wow.
So we find out. Okay.
That's how you get the information today.
Exactly. So she stopped racing altogether, I guess.
At least for having a baby.
Well,
So
yeah, at least this year, yeah.
so yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. And I think the first prominent racer I ran into was Juan Pablo Montoya at the Red Bull Ring. And I
Right.
didn't recognize him at first because he changed so much. And it was really, I mean, sometime later I said, wait, what? So what? It was really crazy because he changed so freaking much since his Formula One days to
Yeah.
2020. So it was crazy.
But he's a fun guy though. He's
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was with his son, so Sebastian
Yeah.
was there racing. So. But it was really, really crazy. I mean, you know these big names, and then you just. I mean, I really run into him, so it was. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I think her final racing was in British F4 over here. I'm pretty sure she never did anything after that. Okay.
Yeah, so the last year that I remember her racing though.
There were Alice Powell, Carmen Jorda, oh Paddy, your favorite driver, and Vicky
Yeah.
in GP3.
Yeah, yeah, they were yes, I was covering GP3 that year. Yes. I became really good friend with Alice at the beginning, yeah.
I'm Pablo Montoya, my hero, and why I got into motorsport. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, my reason I got into motorsport was Kimi Räikkönen, so another big name. But come on, Mansell also came into F1 because of his handsome mustache. Mustache. That's a reason. That's a reason. Could be. Yeah, Paddy, could be. You like the blonde racing drivers. Best race you have ever watched trackside? That's a difficult one.
You go first.
I need to think about because I have no idea. A best race. I'm pretty sure when I entered stream, then I came up with the best race I ever saw trackside. Trackside? I have really no idea. I'm going with Sophia Flirt, Ginetta Junior's Trucks in 2015. I can't even remember.
Good pick. Yes, good pick.
I really need to. I have no idea at the moment. I have no idea. But the problem is my brain is not that really good with details, so I need to think about when I saw what, when, where.
Yeah, so many.
Yes.
So many good racing as well. I mean,
And live on track is always a pleasure and so
yeah,
amazing.
and it's hectic. I mean, you mostly do not remember all the details. So
yes, and you see, sometimes you see just a part of a track because depends on where you are. So sometimes you just see a part of the track and then you need to figure it out later and the whole stuff.
I would say, well, I was on track in Monza 2008, first ever Sebastian Vettel victory in F1 with Toro Rosso on the rain. That was quite cool.
That's amazing, yeah.
Yeah. Then let's think. I was as a spectator though. I was on track for the great battle Michael Schumacher and Fernando Alonso Imola 2005, I believe. Which they went side by side most of the race. That was quite cool. which also, interestingly, that was the first ever weekend for GP2, which then became Formula 2. So
That's cool. Okay, I need to go because I need to see more races on track now. Difficult at this time, but yeah, I need to skip this question. When I know it, I will answer it on Twitter later because I need to really think about. Mostly, to be honest, mostly when I'm on track and I cheer for drivers, they have not the best luck.
yeah,
So,
that's yeah.
that's mostly what I remember after.
Yeah,
So
I can sympathize with that.
that's yeah. But I saw some racing definitely on track, but I couldn't pick a spontaneous really a race. I would say. Maybe I will scream in 10 minutes because I know something, but at the moment, no.
Another great race that I remember being that was Spa 2010, possibly. In GP3, it was amazing race with rain, downpour, then sun, then rain, then sun, which changed like every 2 laps, and drivers were going all off track. Then there was all the grid and mixed up. It was quite cool. I believe Robert Vickens won the race.
Oh.
Might be wrong. But yeah, it was another fun one to see.
Yeah. F1 Hockenheim 2019 and Rallycross semifinal 2016, I think.
Nice.
Rallycross semifinal, where this was? Hockenheim? I think it need to be Hockenheim then. That's cool. I think they are not racing in. They race in Germany, but I forgot where. I think it was Buxtehude, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure this season. Championship. Have we a calendar? Yes, we have. Oh, I hate this calendar they have. Germany. No, Estering. Estering. I'm German. I have no idea how to pronounce this track. Estering? 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 I have no idea.
The
Where
German pronunciation will go.
Where the hell is the Estering? I have no idea. But I think mostly they were on Hockenheim when they drove in Germany, and last year I think they were at the Nürburgring at last.
Nürburgring, yeah.
So yeah. It's Buxtehude, okay. The Estering is Buxtehude. Okay, then I wasn't that wrong, but Buxtehude. So, okay, cool. Also Hockenheim, yeah, okay. Estering is Buxtehude. Yeah, now I know too, Paddy. Thanks. Yeah, Rallycross would be cool to see, but I think the problem with Rallycross is maybe really the short races. I mean, it's fun, it's cool, but as media, it could be maybe a bit strange to have just a 4 to 6 laps rounds, and then the next 3 series you may have no one to watch out. So could be an adventure.
yeah, and it's also, I think the whole process is different from what we are used to, because of course you probably need to go out with shorter, faster content compared to some of the races that we are currently covering. So it's kind of a different approach altogether, I guess.
Definitely, it's like rally. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be a dream to attend the Finland rally one day, the Jyväskylä rally. But I mean, it's such a different kind of racing. So that's really another story to see. But someday I will go to Jyväskylä and watch the rally there. So maybe when we have some. I don't know. Maybe when we see Sami and Ellie maybe competing in the rally in the championship, or Emil and Rita.
Yeah.
Needed to think about. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we see a racing a rally female driver one day. I mean, they are very rare, unfortunately.
So far, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Michelle Mouton, of course, but after her, not that many girls really driving rallies, unfortunately. So, yeah, let's see.
Yeah, we do have one in Italy, Rachele Somaschini. She probably, but I might be terribly wrong here. She was possibly the only female driver, not co-driver, but driver in the European Rally Championship this year.
Yeah.
There were many co-drivers, but I think Raquel was the only female driver in the European Rally Championship.
Yeah, there are not many, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I hope there will come some later or in the future because that could be
yeah.
fun. That could be fun.
And funnily, I met Raquel in Monza for last year, but there was nothing related to rally. I just randomly met her in the media center. I was there for some GT racing, and I was like, I think I already see this lady, and then I understood that it was Raquel. So yeah,
Yeah, sometimes it's crazy though. The world is so
yeah.
small. It's crazy. To then favorite for F1 driver and team,
Oh, active or non-active? That's the big question.
or both.
Both. Okay, so favorite F1 driver of all times. I was a huge Schumacher fan when I was a kid. I know that you were not.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, I was a huge Schumacher fan. But then when I grew up a little bit, I was, that might sound really strange, but I was really a good fan of Nick Heidfeld.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I really
Nick was
liked.
great.
Yeah,
And
Nick.
Heinz-Harald Frentzen.
And Heinz Friend, yeah,
Ah.
yeah. But Quick Nick really was my favorite for for one period of time. Current driver, I think current driver might go with Charles Leclerc. Um, but so far, I'm not massively into F1. I'm following it as much as I can, but I guess I would, if I have to choose a championship, I would not probably say F1 right now. And teams, Sauber, I would say. Sauber has been like my favorite team for yeah, since Nick was racing with BMW. And current, good question. No idea currently. Currently, I'm more I'm always been more of a supporter of drivers rather than teams.
Yeah.
Well, here in Italy, of course, it's really the opposite. You know, you've got so like half of the population, no, well, 90% of the population being a team supporter of Ferrari, and really a small percentage of F1 fans cheering for drivers, while I'm really literally the reverse.
I was always a big Minardi fan.
Yeah, Minardi, yes, good.
Back then, it was
Yeah,
always Minardi was the last team on the grid, and my heart was ever with
yeah,
the how it's called, yeah, the one you never expect to be first, whatever.
yeah.
The outsider. So it was always Minardi. Yeah.
And Mr. Giancarlo Minardi is a super cool guy.
Yeah, and I
I,
heard they
I
had the best pastor in the whole paddock. So.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's genuinely a nice guy. I went some years ago to his studio in Faenza to do an interview with him, and it was really super cool. And now I see him from time to time. He's in the paddock, always looking for young drivers in the F1. He's in the Italian Federation now. Is like the head of the younger championships or stuff like that. And from time to time, I bump into him in the paddock when he's watching races.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Formula One is not the biggest series for us. So.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, but we do follow it. I think when I cannot that I'm on track, you send me the updates and stuff, and but I try to keep up with it. But if
Yeah.
I have to be perfectly honest, I'm yeah, I would mostly follow some other championships now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Formula One was, as I was younger, everything because I just know more or less
Yeah,
Formula One back then. Then I got into Champ Car racing because Eurosport in Germany had this on the program mostly in the middle of the night. I assume my parents never get out that I watched it in the night. not sure. But that was the next big thing. That was my first really big motorsport love after or next to Formula One. It was ever Champ Car, so it's maybe no surprise that now I'm a huge IndyCar fan. So yeah, that was great times. But I think the most time as kid I just know Formula One and Champ Car then, and the rest maybe I heard from DTM, but it was not the biggest thing I was into. I mean, I was the only person in our family that really cared for motorsport, so it was always something weird, more or less. I was the young girl in the 90s that loved motorsport, and it was in a town always the strange thing to love. But yeah, I never skipped it because it's too much love. Was already asked what your favorite series is.
No, it hasn't been already asked. Yeah, you go first.
I go with. I'm not sure if I can say a really really top one. I could go maybe with a top three. I mean, my favorite series are definitely IndyCar. I mean, that's no surprise, I think. Definitely Mazda MX-5 Cup, the American one, because it's an awesome racing series. It's always exciting and entertainment, and expect the one time I wanted to show Paddy the series. It was a boring race. But mostly it's really awesome racing. And I maybe would add a German series. I would go with GT4 Germany, I would think.
Mhm.
GT4 Europe for pure cars. Yes. 50 cars. So, no, you.
I also agree with you that the top three is more. Yeah, it makes more sense than just saying one straight. I would probably say that I'm really following a lot of sports cars, so WEC and ELMS lately. Because it happened for some of the drivers that we are following, but also because I kind of like it a lot, and obviously W Series also. I've been following all the races and writing since the very beginning and been on track since the very beginning. So obviously, with all its flaws, all its problem, all its issues, but I would say that also it was something that I was invested in at some point. And but also I have also been quite a big follower of GP2 until it was called GP2. Then with Formula 2, not that I don't like it anymore, but I kind of following on more not with the same yeah, on a week to week basis that like before.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is probably.
Yeah, I was always. I thought I was always the type for open wheeler racing, but I didn't know how much the MX-5 Cup is fitting in this. And I think in the last 2 years, I really got into GT racing. So GT racing was never on my agenda before I started writing about, because I don't know, maybe I never had the connection to. I never watched races, whatever. But yeah, GT racing is really 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 cool. So I think I really mixed the series meanwhile. So yeah.
Mhm.
That's cool. Ginetta Juniors here
Yeah,
are always incredible. Yes, I
yeah,
agree.
it is kind of the British counterpart to the Mazda MX-5. I think that's very similar as on a spectacular level.
Yeah. But it seems I need to follow the British Mazda MX-5 Cup a bit this year, so
Mhm.
let's see how
Yeah.
this works.
Also, Ginetta Juniors, I think that I wrote an announcement article 2 days ago about a young female karter making the switch to Ginetta Junior. So would be cool to kind of follow more.
I mean, they're so amazing series outside.
Mhm.
Um, you can't follow everything. That's
Yeah.
nearly impossible. So, but I think you really can find so many cool series when you watch over the edge. So don't just see the big series. So F1, I don't know, IndyCar, NASCAR, whatever. And then you see so many of the small series you really need to find because they are not jump into your face when you open YouTube, the internet, or whatever. and you can find so amazing stuff there, so amazing racing. That's I really love so many of the smaller series so much more than the biggest series because it's so much more entertaining and they are mostly so much more open to everyone, and that's so cool. So I would ever go for a smaller series instead of maybe Formula One or whatever. Especially when you see the prizes for Formula One races. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah,
Yes, I'm not sure about coverage for Genetic Juniors in 2023 because it has gone from TOCA package to British GT package. Okay.
yeah. Which is great for anyone outside the UK, I guess. Yeah, because of course the British GT is on YouTube while the other ones is on TV. So I always had to find the most creative solutions, let's say, to watch the the races.
Okay, that's interesting. So maybe we can watch it too because we are all
Hopefully.
outside the UK. Sorry, Liam. Or Liam. That's cool. I mean, more free motorsport to watch. It's cool. So I don't like all the paths. How Rallycross and Rally Championship is going with their paid platforms. You have to pay to watch races and stuff. But I'm not sure that's the right way to go. But it's not my decision. So. Especially for Rallycross. Rallycross was on YouTube. That was amazing because they built a big crown and they really built an interest outside of, I would say, Scandinavia because really people get interested in it and watched it. And then they said, oh, well, we get away from YouTube and now you have to pay money to watch the races. I think that was not the smartest decision, but so far it works more or less. I mean, you see the rallycross field is really small. That's not the best since they changed to the electric era. So yeah, let's see how it works.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially for junior championships. You know, when you are trying really to build, especially for young drivers. You know, you're
Yes.
trying to build your popularity, your sponsors. You have to provide some kind of visibility for your sponsors, and then the championship goes behind a paywall, which is
Yes.
nonsense. Yeah,
Like
that's really
F4
nonsense.
US.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
That was
Um,
not a good deal that they made. I
yeah.
mean,
No.
I'm
No.
pretty happy. I mean, yeah, the streams are not the best on YouTube at the moment or from last year on, but they were free, so it was
Yeah.
better than the paid stuff they had 2 years ago or what this
Yeah.
was. And it was even not a low price, it was a really heavy
It was
price.
crazy.
Yes.
It was really nonsense because you get, for example, you mentioned the WRX, which is still kind of okay if you're a fan of the championship.
Yeah.
WEC also, if you you know it's still okay if you're fan for the championship. It's still, the price is still
Yeah.
reasonable. But to watch a Formula 4 championship was like 200 US dollars, 300 US dollars. Well, what the hell is that? It doesn't make any sense.
That's so crazy. I think the package for the whole year of World Rally Championship, and I think VRX was 60 euros for the
Mhm.
whole year. I think that's okay. And I think when you just wanted to pay one weekend, you could pay for uh, um, a weekend only, or
Mhm.
for the whole package. I think it was 7 euros or so when you just wanted to watch the German rallycross round or whatever. I think that's okay, and you have much of background stuff and interviews and stuff like this, so that's okay. But some prizes are really, I don't know, that's really crazy. Who
Yeah,
has this money? That's no.
yeah. And one point is also that if you have just, for example, one big platform where you get all the motorsport racing series there, when you know, like one big per view platform, will still be all right. If we are motorsport fans, I can try, you know, like a big Netflix for motorsport, you know, for example. I'm But when you have so many different platforms, you have to pay all of them. That's difficult to, you know, to keep track of everything, and you're definitely not gonna, you know, subscribe to every single one of them. So obviously you're gonna miss some. When on the other hand, if you just go on YouTube, it's
Yes.
good for the championship, good for the sponsors, good for the drivers, good for the spectators. Win
Yes,
win.
definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, it started in the everyday. I mean, who many of us pay, I don't know, Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime? Now
Yeah.
we have the new Paramount thingy stuff. I don't know. You have so many streaming platforms, and then you continue with the motorsport stuff. I mean, you can't pay them all.
Yeah.
That's not possible. Even you are pretty rich, but no one of us is pretty rich, so that's just crazy. And then you need to see or need to have the time to watch this all, that it's worth it to pay all the money. I mean, I pay Sky. Sky is very expensive, and I see they changed their prices in March, I think, for me. So it's more more expensive. I mean, I have it just for IndyCar, and they do nothing out of the IndyCar stuff. I have the original American stream. That's all what they do with IndyCar on German Sky. So I pay way too much money for what they
Wh-
do.
Which
So
some of the times can also be a plus that you have the original
yeah. I
commentary.
mean, I love that I have the original stream,
Yeah.
but I think about all the people they pay a German streaming platform to see the races, maybe because they can know English, what is pretty okay when you are in Germany and pay a German streaming platform to watch the races. That is kind of not so cool, I would say, especially for all the money you have to put into it. So that's a bit sad, I would say.
Hmm.
So, but I don't know. You have so many stuff you need to pay, and you can't do it all. It's just a crazy thinking that they all think, oh yeah, you can pay this and pay this and pay us and pay them. That's not possible. That will never happen. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think that's their brains, and their brain says, it's working with this platform and this platform, so it has to work for us as well. And
Yeah.
don't
Sure.
think about, well, that's maybe one or two, but now we are three, four, five, six, seven. That's not cool.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
You have one over F1 TV, but I think it's not available still in Germany. So
Yeah. Yeah. In Germany and Italy, it's not available because
yeah,
of Sky.
yeah, okay, that was a Sky deal. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember. But I was never that interested in Formula One the last years that I wanted to pay it. So I have Sky for IndyCar, and there's F1 in it when I want to watch it. So yes, that's okay. That's okay. And I can watch The Last of Us in 7 days. Sorry. I bought it just in time before Sky bought it. Yeah. I mean, that was the only good thing about this deal. You really was talked about that you have just a limited time to get it. Still when you want it. So it was the only good thing about they not get silenced about it.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's crazy, and I think that will be continuous. So it's very sad. I hope that not, I don't know, the ADSC or whatever will turn into stuff like this. I really hope. I mean, the DTM races are available on YouTube last year, so I hope maybe the ADSC will come back, or maybe the bad thing happen and DTM will go from YouTube as well. That would be very sad.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
ever watched the English stream on YouTube instead of the German stream on the website or on TV.
Yeah, same. It was kind of I last year I always asked you for the links of the other races because it was also on the website. The new website is such much more difficult even to access stuff.
It is. I mean, when they would on the IDSC side, when they would extra site or extra link where just the live streams were, okay, but you have to go on the main site and wait for the perfect time to drop on the main site that you can see the stream. And then sometimes the stream ended too early or switched into the other language because the time was clicking down, ticking down, and the original stream should be ending, but the race is longer because we had a red flag or whatever, and it was not working. It was frustrating as hell. that was You just need to create an account while using VPN, pay with VPN, and you can watch without VPN. Yeah, okay. The good tricks. But it should be way easier for the most people. I mean, it's okay to have all the tricks and stuff, but it's so sad that you just can't turn YouTube or the TV on and just watch the series or whatever. So it's sometimes too complicated. I think the IDC stuff was just too complicated. So I don't know. And then the funny thing is sometimes they have series in between their support series that was on YouTube but not on the website. Hey?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I know. But when you use a VPN for Savage TV, sometimes they were able to get you away from the site nevertheless. So they're working on it to delete the VPN stuffy thingies. I have no idea how to say it. I'm confused. It's not always working with VPN, but mostly, hopefully. And it shouldn't be the solution to watch everything you want with VPN. So yeah. But let's see, I think it will be more crazy in the future, so we just can wait and hope the best. Yeah.
So next weekend we are again going from 0 races to 250 races per weekend.
Yes.
that should be fun.
24 hours Daytona.
Yeah, Daytona is going to be interesting. Also, well, Iron Dames going to IMSA.
Yes.
One of the big news, obviously, big stories.
That will be so interesting to see how they will perform on the 24 hour.
Yeah, especially with the Lamborghini.
Yes.
And the first, obviously not very first race for them, but first major event with Lamborghini.
Yes, for 2 of them it's the first race, I think.
For 2 of them, yes, correct. They definitely have tested, but yes, first race for 2 of them.
Yeah.
And also interesting that it's going to be Michelle, Rahel, and Dorian for the remaining races in IMSA. So I definitely think that maybe Sarah will do WEC or GT World Challenge or whatever.
So many possibilities, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's so cool. They have such a stable and amazing program with their project. It's so cool to see, and you see that it's really working when you want it. So
yeah, exactly. With good, exactly. That's really the point. With good support, a good team behind working behind,
no
and
rushing through stages. Yeah.
Absolutely, that's key. No rushing, and because we've seen so many drivers getting some good opportunities, but then 1 year make it or break it, and that never works in motorsport. Never works. You really have to give it time, develop the project year after year, improve, and then the results will come. Because Iron Dames are the proof of concept with that. Last year really was the year after 2019 started, so a couple of years, and then they started to deliver results. So really proof of concept. That's what most of the sponsors really need to understand, that it's not a one-off when you throw away some money and that's it.
It's no sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially even more so in endurance racing.
Yes, and I mean, I just remember Michaela Allen-Kotulinski as she was doing GT Masters back then. I don't know which year it was, but she was not really good. And then she joined last year the GT. What was the Porsche? Was GT4, GT3? I'm not sure.
GT4, yeah, it was GT4.
Yeah. And she was doing amazing. And you see, when you have the time to develop and just grow into a great racing driver, you can race everything. But then when you really jump into racing series, you're not quite ready for. And I think that's a big problem. Many teams and I don't know, sponsors, whatever, need to understand that you can't go from 0 to 100. You maybe need to go from 0 to 10 to 20 to 50, whatever, to really build the base. So
Yeah.
I mean, you can't build a house without the base or the fundament. So you really need everything around to can set the roof on it, and that's I think a problem you need to understand, or the teams or the wherever is responsible for the way you have to go or whatever. So
one of the examples that I always do is Esme Hockey in DTM, for example. She's really got thrown in the deep end at first year. She really didn't have the experience to race there, but she kind of, I think, showed that there was some potential in there. Second season, third season, stick with it, and results will come. Same goes for Tatiana, in my opinion, because she's been racing forever, but rarely she's got a second or a third year in the same program with the same same team and really develop the skills and the experience with the car and with the tracks. She's jumping one championship to the other, and that's really not been working well, because you need time. In every machinery, in every championship, you need to build time to, even with the same teams, to get to a level where you are confident enough in the machinery and the people around you. So I think that was missing from a racing career.
Yeah, for most, I would say female female racing drivers in special, because they are got into a program, and when they're not good in it, they just thrown out or whatever. But sometimes you just need 1 year to learn the basics, to learn the car, to learn the tracks, to learn the, I don't know, mechanics, engineers, all the people you work with, whatever. And then you can build on of this. And that's time you need. I mean, for male drivers, it's the same mostly, but maybe we don't notice that much because there are so many male drivers, and then we are again on the equality part. So of course, a female driver has so much attention, not in the good way mostly, that she needs to perform from day one, and that's not possible. I think Esme came into the series without really proper testing, so that is something else. You see, so many male drivers have the possibility to have track time, to have seat time on track and driving test days, whatever, on their own, and so many female drivers maybe not. So they just are lacking of testing, and that's a huge point in motorsport. When you have not the test time, you missing so much experience and so much knowledge to perform good. So yeah, I think that was a big problem for Esme. I mean, she was really good, especially for the first half of the race, but she was so many times punched out of the race because some other drivers or whatever. So yeah, and then the bad luck with the sponsor last year.
Yeah.
So yes, that was not great. It was not her mistake with the sponsor stuff, but that was pretty unlucky.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would say.
Yeah, unfortunate, especially because the sponsor was the same one that messed up for Tatiana. So
Yes.
yeah.
That was the other story, and I don't know if there was more. They was saying no, we don't pay anymore. That was a bit. It was a bit weird, I would say, because I have no idea what happened, and I think the most have no idea what happened. So
I read an article a couple of months ago about the whole story, and it's crazy. I mean, it's obviously the same thing for Williams F1 also. Yeah, exactly. The Paddy just wrote it in the chat. There was a good article. Now I cannot remember on which website, but there was a good article summing up the whole story, and they messed up big time for everyone. For
that's so sad. I mean, you work with this. They I don't know, they plan with the whole season, the whole year, and they kind of I don't know the English word, um trust them to pay for the whole season when they have the agreements and stuff. So that's such a shit situation when you got thrown out because of stuff like this, and it's not a small name. It's not something you never heard about or whatever. So it was a sponsor that worked with so many teams and people, and so you really could think that's okay. That will be cool for the whole season. Yeah, Rich Energy.
Yeah,
I didn't want to
yeah.
say this. So yeah, that's kind of sucks. So that was really really sad to see so many drivers dropping out of series because of this stuff happened. So I don't know.
I think you are right, but it's one thing is to work with some sponsors for many years, and then you are kind of surprised when something happens. But Reach Energy or Rocket or whatever kind of arrived straight into the top series and top names, top championships, top drivers and stuff, and then they fall like a couple of months later.
Yeah.
For Rocket, it was a little bit more than a couple of months, but you get the point. They when it's different when you get to sponsors an F1 team when you're building years after years, and then you build a reputation also with the people that are kind of getting the contracts done. They get experience from smaller teams and smaller championships, and then it's like for a racing driver, you make your step up. Well, for these sponsors companies, they went straight to the top, and then they everything falls down. So that's the kind of different in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, hi King, welcome in the chat, welcome on stream, on stream, welcome in stream. So yeah, that's. I mean, it's so difficult to find sponsors, and you really need to trust them. I mean, it's a close work together. You need their money. You use their money. I think about money is such a difficult topic, especially in our modern world. So you really need to trust them when you work with them. So I have no idea what I want to say.
Yeah, no, it's a huge topic, and I think
Yes.
it would be also worth it to talk with somebody more specific, like like for example, somebody that is caring for a sponsor contract. I think we can do that. We can try to get somebody to speak about these things.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. As you said, it's something that it's increasingly difficult to talk about when you are openly talking about big money and contracts and stuff that mostly is not always allowed to say everything that you want. But it would be really interesting because, for example, I remember I was talking with some drivers, and they said, people always see the fun part of the sport. So when you're on track, or even when you're in the gym, for example, you know what you're doing. But the whole thing that you're not seeing, and the thing that possibly is more tiring psychologically, is getting the budget to go racing. So you are like working 24 hours a day just to reply emails, to send emails, presentations, and get a meeting, and go to the meeting and try to convince the people, and networking. It's hard. It's really hard, and that's the part of the racing driver's life that, especially for the younger ones, that is not often really advertised and seen on social media.
Yeah, I mean, some of the drivers really post about stuff like this, not that
Mhm.
much because I think it's not that interesting for the followers, whatever. But sometimes you see some people posting about this. But I really think that's a side of motorsport, or I would say in the most sport kind of stuff you can do, but motorsport in extreme way,
Yeah.
that you spend maybe your whole winter on. So the most people really just do nothing more than to work in the winter time to get money for the next step. So that's why some racing drivers announce their plans so really, really late in the year. Some will come up on March maybe, or maybe April to just announce this, because then they may be sure they can afford the next season or the next step in their season. And that's kind of crazy. And I think that's a yeah, the side of motorsport that so many times just forgotten because you don't
Yeah.
see it that much. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and also
true.
some of the times you don't even get the full budget for a whole season, but you still have to announce something. So at one point, you get with a certain amount of budget, and they say, okay, we will start with this program, and we will try to get the rest of the funding during the season.
Yeah.
Then obviously sometimes things go wrong, and then you see drivers dropping out midway through the season. That's what happens when they then cannot secure the rest of the funding. So this is also you get to a point when you have to announce some programs because championships are starting. You do not yet have the full budget, and you still have to start something, and you try to get the rest of the funding midway through the season, which is never ideal, but it happens a lot more than people understand.
Yeah, like I remember Emily Linscott as she had her crowdfund campaign. I think it was a campaign for 5 races out of
Yeah,
8 or 9 weekends or so. So you have just a half-baked program, but you go with it because you want to do it, and you hope that you find the rest of the money on the way.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you maybe can impress some people, but that was one of the championship that was behind a paywall. So it's more difficult again to get new sponsors in because who sponsor want to be in a series you can't see. I mean, that's a point that's very very difficult. So I think she never done the whole season. No, she didn't done the whole season.
I don't think so.
No, no.
Even the year before the year which COVID started, she was
Yeah.
doing the
I think she missed 2 rounds at the end, and I
yes, I
think
think
one
so.
round she was able to do because one gentleman that was never wanted to be called or named or whatever paid for a new engine because her
Yeah,
engine blown before the end of her campaign. So that
yeah,
was her lucky angel in this moment. But yeah, sometimes it's just work from race to race or from weekend to weekend to hope to get the rest of the money on the way. So
yeah,
that's motorsport as well. It's not like all Lance Strolls or Nicola Latifi's or whatever or
yeah,
Lando Norris.
yeah, yeah. Yes, exactly.
So sometimes it's really just living in the moment and hope the best for the next moment. So that's yeah, that's motorsport. So sponsorship must be the biggest hurdle for new drivers to overcome. I think not just for new drivers. I think that's for the most drivers, it's just the whole racing career time. So yeah, but I think for new drivers, it is maybe new to learn how to find sponsors, how to talk with people, to find actually sponsor opportunities, to write mails, to call them, to maybe go to them and speak directly to him or whatever. I think that's the biggest hurdle for new drivers to just learn how to do it and be nice and kind and say what you want and be not too nice or whatever, and that's the thing you really need to learn as new driver, I think.
And also an interesting thing, for example, in very junior championships, for example, in Formula 4, it's incredibly hard to get sponsors at that level of your career because really these are championships only followed by niche markets of people like us that are really interested in motorsport that are following those. You don't get big audience, big mainstream audience following those kind of championships. So they really need to get the money from their families, and then when you are already in the car and you have to prove yourself that you can perform, then you can show the progress to some companies, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you get some money out of it. But really, to start, it's incredible how much money you really need from your family just to get the ball rolling, and then start to transition to a business model where you can rely a little bit more on sponsors, and increasingly so until you get to a point, hopefully, like in with a big manufacturer contract or some big championships like F1 or WEC, when you can actually be paid to race. But that's super rare. At the beginning, in Formula 4, you really need your family money to start.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's just crazy. I can't stop saying this, but the money amount is crazy of
Yeah.
the sport. It's I'm not sure where this will be end. Maybe never, but yeah, That's
Yeah, it's especially when you get W Series or championships that try to get a different business format and they're
yeah,
not successful, because ultimately what people see is that business format ultimately failed, because after 3 years they are on hold because it was not sustainable. So what you get is people saying, okay, that is not sustainable. So you still need people, to drivers, families, to pour in their money. So
yeah,
this is what, yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's the way of the next years. I think that will not change that fast or that soon. So
yeah. Even for
that's
example, F1 Academy, they had to move towards a more conventional business format, where still you have 50% of the budget paid for, but still you have to cover the remaining 50%. So
and it still have the one name in it, so it is kind of money. So
yeah,
that's kind of crazy. So yeah. But at the end, yeah, F1 Academy, we need to weigh what this will be at the end because I'm not that sure about at the moment. Not less convinced about it than W Series at the beginning.
yes, I
So,
was about to say the same exact thing. I'm entering the F1 Academy era just like I entered the W Series. So let's see where it goes. There is some certain things that I do not like. There
yeah.
are certain things that I like. There are certain things that I'm not convinced. Let's see and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean that's the only thing we can do. So let's wait and hope the best for the female side of driving,
Yeah,
especially to hopefully build the ladder. That was what W Series was lacking of because yeah, Jamie won the thing 3 times and not progress to the next series. That is kind of sad. So I'm not sure if one can change something on this, but let's see. And let's
and
see how Jamie will be on the what's it called now in the next.
next, yeah,
Why
and
why they
interest.
change names?
Yeah,
I
it doesn't
hate
make
this.
doesn't make much sense, especially when you have a championship, that established, like in the lights, which
Yes.
was, the name was famous for a lot of time. So yeah, that's quite singular.
It's like I needed so much time to learn it's NLS now, not
Yeah,
VLN. VLN.
yeah. Well, a lot of people are still calling it VLN,
They
so
still have the old name in there. I think
in the
it's in
website.
yeah.
Yeah,
So why change it?
correct. Yeah,
But yeah, Indie Next. It will be take some time that I say it's Indie Next. But when I say Indie Lights, you all know what I mean. So I think
yeah,
that's okay. But I pretty curious what she can do, especially with a team like Andretti. That's
yeah.
pretty cool. She is not in one of the no name teams. She is really in a good team, and that's kind of exciting. I think.
I was discussing this with the guys from the Grid Network just yesterday, I
Mhm.
think, about Jamie. I really think that we should not put too much pressure on her at the first
Of
year,
course.
because of course it's a big jump from a Formula Regional level to the in the next car,
Yes.
which is much closer to a Formula 2 car that what was before. So it's a really big jump in the machine for Jamie, and also the tracks. She's never
Yeah.
driven in the US, so she will have to learn an awful lot of things, and also the how you work together with the teams in the US. It's kind of different from what she's used into the approach of the whole teams in Europe. So I think we should really give her 1 year to learn the stuff and to
The
learn,
base again. It's
yeah,
again all
yeah,
about the
yeah,
base.
yeah, exactly. We come back to that same topic. Yeah, we should really get the 1 year to learn, and then from 2024 she can really start to put in some good results.
Yes. Sorry, I just read Patty's
Yeah,
message.
yeah, that's a fair point, but
Yes,
still,
definitely.
yeah, it's a fair point, but a lot of people really knew it as VLN. So
Ah, that's true. What I wanted to say, and what could be very interesting. I mean, maybe there is no way, but the Andretti Cadillac Formula One deal.
yeah,
So Jamie is driving for Andretti. Maybe it's nothing, but you always can hope the best.
yeah,
So
no, yeah, it's always important. Even psychologically, you are in a big organization that has that potential for the future. So also helps that definitely. It also helps to keep at least a foot in the door,
Yeah.
because when she went to the US, I know that she thought that it was a great move. She knew that it was the good thing for her career, but still I knew that deep inside her she wanted to keep pursuing something in Europe. So I think this at least gives her the opportunity to keep a foot in the door and say, okay, that they are also active in Europe if it works out, because hopefully it works out.
Yeah. But yeah, to be honest, what should she do in Europe? I mean, there is nothing much when you not don't go to the F3 or F2
Yeah.
championship. And thinking about the money, I think Indy Next is not that expensive, like
Mhm.
the Formula 2 series. So yeah, it could be a chance. So let's see and wait and hope the best for her for this year and hopefully next year, and let's see what she can do then in the series. I mean, we have two girls in the road to Indy at the moment. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think too. Well, confirmed at
Yeah,
least.
Lindsay and
Yeah,
Jamie.
Lindsay and Jamie. Hopefully, we'll get some more. For
Yeah,
example, the USF juniors. I think also this potentially couple interesting there.
yeah. Maybe
Um,
Maddie Oust is coming back.
maybe, yeah, maybe hopefully
I mean,
Maite.
they still post pictures from her on their social media site. So,
Yeah, good point. Yeah, and
so
Maite also. We will see where she ends up
maybe, but she wanted to do something in Europe.
in
So
Europe. Yeah.
let's see.
Yeah, well, she's living here, so yeah,
Yeah, it would be easier
easy for
for
her.
the way
Yeah,
to live. Yeah, but let's see. I hope there will come some more. I mean, it's a good letter,
yeah.
especially when you compare with the European letter.
Mhm,
I think it's a cool thing. What I love on the IndyCar ladder is that when you win the championship in the lower series, you have the chance to go one step higher. So maybe from Indy Next, when you champ, you have a granted seat on the IndyCar series next year for 1 year to show what you can, and then you can see if you find a seat from your own staff money, whatever. And that's something I really really like here or in America, because it's a cool system. So you win this, and you have the chance to go one step higher for 1 year, granted, and then you can prove yourself, and that's something really really cool.
yeah,
So
the scholarship program. Yes,
yeah.
that's what is missing here, really. Yeah.
And what I like is all the new stuff from the Penske owner and stuff, that they working on the diversity programs to get more female drivers, to get black drivers, to get I don't know what they are all doing at the moment. So
Mhm,
they are really looking forward to integrate more people into racing that maybe not able to do it on the normal way, because it's still something strange to be a female driver, to be a black driver, whatever. I
mhm,
mean, how many black drivers we have for real in racing series? So
mhm,
that's something I really, really like to see on the IndyCar ladder, that there's something,
mhm.
yeah, behind it, I would say. I mean, we have in Europe in Formula One, we had the we raced together. No, how was this called?
Yeah, we race as one.
Yeah, we raced this one. What is behind this? Nothing. I
Yeah,
mean, we
it's
release
a
where the money
brand.
is. That's
Yeah,
all behind it. So
yeah.
I feel, or I have the feeling, that the Americans, not all Americans, we don't talk about NASCAR and stuff like this sometimes,
Well,
but
actually, yeah. Sorry, go on.
that they try to do more than just saying something. It's not overall, and it's not everything right there. But I have the feeling they try at least a bit more than Formula One, for example. So
That is very true, but it's actually NASCAR that started this program, the diversity program. That I cannot remember the exact name, but over 10 years ago, and now they are starting to see, the program is starting to bear fruits, because you have even some Hispanic drivers getting up the ladder in NASCAR, with Daniel Suarez and a couple more others that were initially part of that program. So interestingly, it was not very much advertised, but it was NASCAR that really paved the way for these kind of programs. And I just read an article in the last couple of days where it really said that it took 10 years for really those drivers to start winning races and then going up to the Cup championship. So it's also important to understand that we can, even IndyCar, for example, or F1, if we start something now, we should not expect results like tomorrow.
Yes.
It's going to take some years, but eventually they will come.
But that's again a problem of the society, I think, because
Yeah.
we think we need to start now. We need to see some results 3 months later, whatever, And I think that's a very problem of the society, that we think we need to see results as soon as possible. But it takes time. It's again not a sprint. It's a marathon. I mean, how long Peretta is now into the series? 2 years. It should be the third year now. And I mean, it will take a lot of time till they really are a full-time team, what they want to do. So we started the female program maybe 3 years ago, so it's 7 years more to come when we have no interruption. I mean, we had the first Indy 500 without female driver for 20 years 2 years ago. 2 years ago. That's so crazy. I mean, you need to think about it. 20 years, we had every time at least one female driver, sometimes much more, and then nothing. Or like Michelle Mouton, as she won rally, whatever, as she won in the rally championship, whatever. You thought, oh, that will be the starting point. No, we have some female rally drivers the next years. Nothing. That's not that easy. That one girl is winning and we see so many more female drivers on the next day. It takes so much time. It's crazy. And I think the most people forget this very, very fast, that we just need the quick events. We need the consistent events. We really need that again and again and again. You need to see it again and again and again and build the space again. Yeah, FIZE World Rally Championship, that's true. And unfortunately, Walter was better. But yeah, that's the crazy thing. We think, oh, we have 3 female drivers in the series, they need to win on the next day. That's not how it works. Unfortunately, sometimes, but that's not how it works. So I think we need way more years to come on a point to really say it is better than 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be a long story.
Yeah, it is a long process. But if you see, for example, 10 years ago to now,
yes, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is. And I was talking for this summer with Rahel Fry, and we were just joking about when we were racing in karting, and we were talking about this. Do you remember 10 years ago how many girls you had on track? Right now, you go to any karting track, you see at least one girl.
Yep.
Of course, we are very far away from a point where we are on a numerical parity, but it's way better. And this really shows that we've done some progress, and we need to keep insisting on that. New projects, new initiatives, new programs, new investments, because we are starting to see some results, and but still long ahead. But
yes,
progress has been made.
Yeah, and the thing is, we don't need, we are not allowed to quit now. We need to continue this work, and that's the important stuff. We need to continue what we do, or what all people do, to try to promote female racing drivers and to support female racing drivers and sponsor them or whatever. That they don't think, oh, we have enough done, but it's not enough. We need to continue this. Yes, you can win this, Patty. That's true. We can win this. So that's the way we need to continue, and just even more, put even more work in it, so that in 10 years we can say, oh wow, it's more female drivers again. Maybe it's not the end. Of course, it will be not the end in 10 years, but that we say, oh, you remember 10 years ago? That was crazy. You had just 2 girls in every series or whatever, That's the way we need to go, and to need to continue. I slowly forget English words. So yeah, so I think we are on the right way, definitely, but we need to do much more and continue to do much more.
Yeah.
Still, so yeah. As long as the program are maintained, each generation should bring more female drivers. Yeah, I think so. And I mean, the good thing is when girls watching motorsport these days, they see way more female drivers. So they maybe see, oh, she can do this, I can do this too. And then she maybe starts with karting. Maybe she will stay with karting and go on the next level. Maybe she not, but she even tried it, and that's the important thing, that they just try the stuff and see if it works for them, or maybe they have no fun. That's pretty okay as well. You can't love everything you try at the first time. So I think that's the way. So you see the girls, you want it, and then you try it, and that's the good thing about. I mean, so many interviews I had, and most of the girls says, yeah, it's cool to see other female compete in motorsport and maybe winning in motorsport or whatever, and that's why I wanted to try it out as well. Or I'm not sure who it was. She said, yeah, I know what I can do in motorsport, but it's so cool to see, and just a good remembering to see other female winning, to remember that I can do this as well. And that's the important stuff. And I think when we get more female drivers, we will have more in the youth station of driving, and then we can build on this. That's what I believe. Yeah.
And also, this is why probably what we do is also, well, let's pretend we are important, but yeah,
We are.
yeah.
Shit, we are,
but
aren't we?
but it's also the importance of what we do, because trying to really to show that there are people out there doing good stuff, and trying to inspire some more to do the same.
Yeah, and I mean, we see this when they talk to us, and the most of them are appreciated what we do. So that's really cool.
Yeah, totally.
Sometimes it's overwhelming when they say so nice stuff, and I thought,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay, that's so cool. Even the commentators can help. Like the commentator of GT4 Germany always tried to say something about the fast lady Gabby whenever he had the chance. Yeah, he's a fan, I would say. Who is not a fan of Gabby, to be honest? Yeah, okay, maybe I know some other, but
but no, yeah, that's the point that we were making about media. Yeah, the importance of media.
yeah, and it was so cool. As I watched Rallycross with Clara Anderson, the commentators both were so obsessed with her, but always the same. You know, she is so cool, and she learning so fast and adapting so fast. And I mean, it was true, but it was so cool to hear that this from the experts of the racing series, that they see this too. Not because they are focused on female drivers, they are focused on everyone, and can see this. She is doing very, very great in the series on her debut year, and that was really, really cool to hear. And that's yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And that's the little things we start at the end to recognize the what they can do, and just call the name and whatever, so that you see it and you hear it, and that's cool. That's what I like. So yeah, how it gone so late, by the way?
It
I
is.
I
It
could
is.
continue forever, but
Yeah.
I
So,
think we
I
should.
th- I think as a first experiment went pretty well.
Yes,
I think,
definitely.
yeah,
But
we didn't run out of topics. We were quite
never. We could
hopefully.
talk the next
Yeah,
5 hours still, but we can do a second part maybe.
I think we should totally do a second part,
Yeah,
and
that would be cool.
I'm definitely for it. Whenever
Definitely.
you want. Yeah, but I think as first one, we did pretty good, and hopefully it was interesting for the
Definitely.
people
Definitely.
watching.
I would say the chat have one last chance to ask quick questions when you want to do, like what tea I'm drinking, no, whatever. You have a last chance to drop quick questions, and then I would say we come to an end because it's getting late. And the technical stuff was okay. I mean, one time as my stream decided to mute themselves. The pressure. Yes, Penny, the pressure. You can learn the pressure. But otherwise, it was pretty good for the first time I ever tried this Streamlab things here. Would you say that getting their family to pay for them to race is a challenge for female drivers?
That's a great question, and it is something that I have discussed with some drivers before, and it depends. From my perspective, if they have if they're single child or if they're siblings, sometimes when they had brothers, for example, that were already racing, it becomes more challenging for the female driver to prove that they also deserve the same amount of the support, which as we all know, at junior stages of the career, it's very expensive. So most of the times, yes, it is kind of a challenge to prove families that they deserve the same amount of support. Yeah.
Yep. Yep, would say the same.
For example, a driver that I will not mention, but a driver that has two sisters told me that she was also kind of feeling not great with it because her family were spending all their money on her racing career, while the other two sisters were not getting the same amount of support for whatever their passion was. They were not into racing. But yeah, that's also an issue sometimes.
But I think that's a problem that is a bit family made, because you ever get told don't have a favorite child, or at least don't show it to them. I mean, I have a favorite child of my cats as well, but I try to not show it to them. So yeah, I think as parents, I don't know. You need to. I think it's not fair to just spend all the money on one child and not on the other, because when you have 2 or 3 childs or whatever, you should have the same amount of attention and financial stuff maybe for them too. It's a bit weird for me to understand. I mean, I have no child, so maybe I'm wrong on this path, but for me as human being, it sounds a bit weird to just spend all the money on one kid, instead share it on all. So I don't know.
You are right, but when you are into racing, that thing never stops to require money.
That's true.
When you are in, you know that you've done one step. Now you've got to do the other steps, and you've got to pour all your money into it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you're not a billionaire, that becomes an issue for the family. Yeah,
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's a difficult topic, I would say, for families and stuff to overcome. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, because I have a last question. What's your favorite female driver?
Oh, I will
I
never
were born
answer
in hell.
this one. No, I will never answer that question. Never, 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 never.
Such a shame.
No, I will never do that because there are too many, and if any one of them will ever stumble upon this stream or recording, I will
Yeah, that's
never
okay.
answer
That's
that.
okay.
Yeah.
I said so. So, what Patty wrote. Also, many families have views on what women shouldn't do, and usually something like racing often falls in that category. That's true. That they're more open on boys to do it. Yeah, that's another story of life. I think that so many old visions of what women have to do and what not. So, no one wants to eat my cooking stuff. So. That's not true at all, but the most you don't want to eat. But yeah, that could be a problem for some families as well. You're a female, you're a girl, you have to play with, I don't know, puppets or horses or whatever. Or you do it like the Finnish rally co-drivers. They have cars and horses. That's the best way. Yeah. Yeah, I hope this will end. I mean, a girl can do anything what she wants. So let's race her. when she wants to race cars, let's do it. Or bikes. Bikes is another story. Yeah. Double the expenses. Yes, that's true. Horses are expensive as well.
Too expensive sport. Yeah.
Isn't this strange with horses? I mean, I don't know, many years ago, they were, normal on streets. You had a horse because you want to go from A to B, and now it's a luxus thing you have when you have a horse. How the world change.
True, and probably cars will get to the same point.
Yes, I think so. In the future,
Hopefully, we will still get to drive them on track. But
yes. I mean, at the moment, I just hope for the next years all will be good, and that's enough for
Sure.
to sleep this night.
Good point.
So yeah, that was a great talk. I definitely say we need to continue. Yeah, we need to repeat this.
Yeah.
With the second part, because I think we have so many more to say. Maybe we can do this at the end of the season again.
Yeah. Well,
so
even before, if you want, we can definitely try to to get more topics in and answer some of the questions. There were some really good questions, actually.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, the chat was very, very good. So thanks for all the questions, for all the attention, for all the doing stuff with us. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. So Samu is with 100% in it. That's cool. Thank you both for the stream. Thanks for being here, King. I would say we definitely repeat this on the end of the year or of the season. But now we just wait to start the season before we speak about the end of the season. It's January. It's already still to 2024. Crazy. So crazy. Chat, who we should rate today? I'm not sure who I should rate, by the way. Thank you very much for being here. Thanks, Dan, for participating in this first stream of the chat stuff.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, that was very, very cool. I'm looking forward to the next one at the end of the year. At latest. We can do this now every year, twice. And then I would say we go to Castro now. He is playing C-Sub. Say hi, and then I wish you all a great evening, a great night, a good start into the new week. And see you then. Bye bye. Oh wait, I need to end screen. I'm not sure if you're now getting out of the stream because I changed the scene, so I would say bye to you then as well. So.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for being here. Bye bye.
Bye.
End screen. End screen. End screen.